So again, for question 3, at the beginning of I Am Legend, we are hearing a normal newscast. Then it focuses on a lady talking about how she has a cure for cancer. So it's really important you actually set the scene. The way in how she describes it to the audience is foreshadowing Robert's character development throughout the film. A bad man on a motorway in a really fast car is what she says. I believe the director does this so the audience can infer what's about to happen, leaving the audience wondering what's next. Who is this woman? The audience are left feeling confused as it jumps without letting the woman finish her speech as well, so that's important. I like the fact you've got all the effect on the actual audience as well as you go through, and you've even managed to quote dialogue. Dialogue is a structural technique. You do need to mention those words. It would be quite nice if you actually said in her dialogue. It's just little words that you can put in as you go through. And also you've got an introduction to maybe like a key idea. It's exposition is the word that we used last lesson, that this is an exposition. Okay, it's when you set the scene, you set up the circumstance around it. So later on, the focus, it's important to use the word focus, is on the desolate wasteland, which once was the capital of America, with a 3-year time jump. So that's shift in time as well. Everything is quiet as the camera gives us a macro shot. So it's good because you're actually using the words. If this was a text, you can actually say it's talking about a macro description. So this would be a macro shot of New York, but with an ominous tone. So you've got the change in tone as well. That's good. As we're introduced to the red, vibrant Mustang racing down the road in a really fast car. I believe the director does this to show the audience how terrible the earth has become. Then a jump scare comes from a herd of deer, which comes running out, leaving the reader feeling terrified of what is to come. It would be nice in this paragraph, though, because what you're really doing there is only summarising. You need to make some more inferences. So, for example, you link it back to what you were saying up here and link it back to the cure. So you could have mentioned that ominous tone. As a reader, we can infer that actually that cure, which was a virus, has gone terribly wrong. Yeah. Therefore, you fear for the future. You also, under the feeling of what to come, something that should stand out to you is you should feel curious about why he's the only survivor. That could be something, because you've just got to link what you wrote at the start into here as well. Because if you're not inferring information or inferring like what you learn, you're not going to do very well on things. But what's really great about this is actually the different techniques being pulled out as you go through. And there is effect. It's just you've got to make sure you link it back. Finally, the focus. So again, it's really important to keep using the word focus, is on how the deer goes under the tunnel and why he can't follow. I believe the director wants you to think about the bigger picture, leaving the audience wondering, why wouldn't he follow them? Meaning the audience are feeling curious about what is about to happen. This is a little bit too general. You've got to think about feel curious about what's so bad about being in a dark place. So is it dangerous? Has this got something to do with the virus? You cannot make that's a too general a comment. But again, actually, a really solid answer. It's like 5-6 marks, easily. It's just that you've got to make sure, it might be 4 because of this bit here though, because of the inferencing. You have to explain why things are done, what you can infer as a reader, because what you infer is what makes something interesting.